Like every home in Bluestone, the On family residence is a stunning wreck, so deeply buried in a Northern Virginia neighborhood that after taking the third or fourth curve in, there was no turning back. Imaginary gates clanged and locked behind me, and I got the feeling that I was here for the winter, like it or not. Were it true, my father would do a jig, a cha-cha-cha. He doesn't know I'm racing back to New York tomorrow for a meeting, and I'm just here for the night, long enough to sing happy birthday and present him with the gift he'll accept like the gentleman and the scholar that he is, at birth and at 90. That's not what your little father who lights up at your visits, Margaret, and darkens when you leave, Margaret, wants to hear. Given our history, a walk is in order. If you think of Bluestone Circle as a clock, the On house sits at 10 o'clock, and legs willing, will make it to 1 o'clock. For Sam On, it's less of a walk than a shuffle, a far cry from his cha-cha-cha in the moonlight with Mommy so long ago, like he owned the ship and the sapphire seas. Now that was a night, set against the vast Pacific Ocean. I was just a little girl called Monkey, watching my parents take it all in. Paradise galore. Out of a stuffy house, the cold air is reviving. I take my father's arm. I detect a tremble. Winter, you know. Ready, I say? Yeah, he says. Margaret. Yes. How long are you staying? If only it was spring. A perfume fusion of corals, lavenders, and aqua blues, fallen yellow leaves that carpeted the sidewalks so richly you smelled old money in the mist. We, the Ons, are an exception. We counted our pennies and our lucky stars, split our popsicles and napkins, anything with a seam. But Bluestone in bloom was for every person, bird, or leaf, more than a dream place. Even now, in my daydreams, I find myself wandering around in a circle, checking off side streets, Purple Rock Road, North Cliff Drive, Magnolia Way, the petrified tree trunks, the weather-battered wooden sign, beach area, straight ahead, residents only. You always knew where you were in the world. You could not get lost. Still, this time of year, January was its own fantasy. Bare trees exposed a private lake, opulent as a moon-sized pearl. The homes naked without the flowery fuss, as my father used to call it when Mommy was queen of our yard. Now he was the only one watering in a Hawaiian shirt, weather permitting. Sam On, emperor of the gardens. He could think out there, speak to his dead wife and their magnolias. The indoor orchids betrayed the lonely gray of his winter. Screw tomorrow's meeting. I'd rather be here than in a conference room with equity partners who don't know when to retire. Besides, what do I have to go home to? Legal work and laundry, brunch with the girls, it's getting old, as am I. Nothing sex in the city about ordering expensive wine by the glass when you feel like old deli meat. Divorce is a bitch, but this too shall pass. How about I stay for the weekend? I finally reply. Thought I saw some knock-around clothes somewhere in the dresser somewhere. His silence stings. In Bluestone, no two homes look alike. They shared being in various stages of renovation and decay. However, a glorious decay after nearly a century of elemental ruin. In '66, when spanking new split levels with wall-to-wall carpeting and enclosed garages became all the rage, vintage Bluestone fell out of favor, retreating into a forgotten forest of wildflowers and vines. Lucky for us, for one little cracked window of time, the homes were bargain priced. And hey, guess what? The Ons moved in. Before long, we were the Korean family known for our broken down cars and for reusing tin foil until they tore and chopsticks until they frayed and left splinters in our lips. To this day, whenever I walk by a Chinese hole in the wall, I think of duck and orange sauce. Only $4 for a large carton at Ding Dong's carryout. You think they stole the ducks from the lake, monkey? No, Dad, don't say that or I won't eat it. Let's go down to the lake and count our feathered friends. Dad! When Mommy was alive and the kids, Vivian, Peter, Holly, and me, were still living at home, the family walked as one troop. All over Bluestone, the on-pulse could be felt, if not heard, by the leaves in the trees, their trunks, their roots, right down to the core of the earth. Maybe our hearts beat harder back then than the U.S. Census Bureau needed. When they came to our dinner table for a Korean head count and a bird, the troop dwindled as the kids moved out one by one, me last. On the occasion we all got together and went walking, some of us would inevitably splinter off Bluestone Circle down the side streets. After Mommy died in '79 when I was 24 and in law school, only my father and I fell back into step. We of the loner spirits drifting together like rafts. I visit my father 10 or 12 times a year, at least for the holidays, 3-day weekends, and always for his birthday. And it may sound like a lot of father-daughter time, but not when I picture all the mornings he wakes up alone and all the walks he takes with his part-time caregiver, Mrs. Lim, not me. But I've got a life. Not the life I dreamed of, but who does? I grew up, found love, practiced law, gave it my all, but the marriage, had no kids, no regrets, fell apart, and the work grew dull. Oh, God, what would I do to be monkey again? My father wishes aloud. Why not stay a little longer this time? I mull. Maybe I will, Dad. Buoyed, he brags to the earth and any listening creature. My daughter wants to spend time with her old man, and she is a big will attorney who calls the shots. All I do is read documents all day. Are they interesting documents? No, Dad. You see, I wish you had become a writer instead, like Pearl Buck, noble and noble. The famous Margaret on, what a nice ring, he sighs. It's not too late. All around his little castles, however decrepit, stand proud, majestically ancient, like Sam On. The air feels good out here, Margaret. I can breathe. The dry heat in the house must bother you. Jars of aloe dot on every corner. I'll survive, but not the orchids. They need moisture. Still no luck? No luck. Why are they hard to grow? That is a myth, Margaret. Orchids can grow anywhere, but I don't have Mommy's magic touch. Do you remember all the dead plants she brought back to life? I do. My mother was the original orchid lover who had a way with her whispers and watering cans. When my father took over, the orchid souls in the house perished one by one as if in mourning. Over time, he developed a father's healer zeal, which only seemed to make them mad and kill them off quicker. Margaret, I am cursed! You got the feeling Sam believed that the day he revived the dying plant, both he and Mommy would come back to life. And that the orchids were aware. Dad, is there a reason you want me to stay longer? Did you need me to take you somewhere? A doctor? How are your eyes these days? My eyes are fine. But Miss Lim tells me there's a new Korean restaurant in Annandale where the servers treat you like dirt. Translation? Oh, the food is very good. Do you know what their slogan should be, he asked. I don't know. Drop dead motherfucker. I can't believe I said that. But Sam unchuckled like it's nothing. Good guess, Margaret. Service without a smile. This time my father laughed so hard, it scares me. He stops to take a breath. Not an easy task when you're still laughing. I mean, not quite a jig, but as close as he's going to get in the waking universe. As close in spirit. Good enough for me. But back to the question. Why not stay a little longer? It's true that whenever I leave him, I find myself longing for what is lost, regretting the present. Why don't we give Miss Lim a week off, I suggest. God, my other life can wait. I mean, forever, maybe. And we can truly try out that new Korean restaurant. Fueled by my father's shuffles all the way to the Blossom Road. He's like, hey, that's an old man's record. Back home, he sinks into his leather chair and he dozes off, only to wake up to a web of nostalgia. Why did you give up the flute, Margaret? Because I was not good at it. No, you were good at everything. Sam on in a nutshell. Like, were that true, I'd still be playing the flute. And I'd still be married. Sometimes you just have to give up on things. A good thing, solitary life suits me. Except when it's very late. And I crave a little music. And I crave a little company. Just someone to dance with. To talk to. Nights like that always lead me to one effing great truth. Some stars stay lit, some don't. One evening in 1969 on an ocean liner afloat, the diamond-peaked high seas, 3 ons stood in a triangle of heaven. I was on the upper deck, giddy from the boy next to me, leaning over the railing to spy on my parents below the promenade deck. That mommy, she could glow like nobody else, especially with an orchid in her hair and a Mai Tai in her hand. Apparently they had just won some cha-cha-cha contest in the Starlight Room. Mommy, she really had the moves. But my father had owned his moves that night. He was so happy he could kiss the sky. He broke into a silly, ridiculous, unforgettable jig. A half a century later, he's shuffling toward the powder room with his watering can. Time for a little orchid loving. Meanwhile, I head upstairs to look for some of those knock-around clothes. Mid-step, something stops me. Something I read somewhere. Somewhere and I thought, what was that? Yes. Like a raked over seed, the memory pops up. Orchids are too exquisite, too ethereal to weather the harshness of this world. Not dandelions that crop back up after you mow them down. Not clovers that spring back up after you step on them. They thrive on benign neglect. And you know what? Sam On was overwatering his orchid plants, drowning them with love. Dad! Faucet on, he can't hear me. So I lean over the railing, just like I did one night on that boat when all was right in the world. Dad! Faucet off. Yeah, Margaret. Given the mood, I could quit my job in a mere minute or work remotely. I am staying for the winter. The commotion below will haunt me long after my father, Sam On, is gone. The bang of the watering can hitting the kitchen floor. The footsteps coming toward me, quick and sudden. No easy for a feat, for a man celebrating 90 years of this dream we call Earth. We met in the middle of the staircase like rafts lost in the Pacific. And that's when I see it. There in his eyes, that little cha-cha. Monkey, he croaks.